Mind me, I'm messing with my light.
Okay.
Eyes are so blue with the blue hair.
So blue.
It's like, holy crap, I forgot sometimes they're blue.
Yes, that happens with the hair changing. Like when I first went super like white blonde,
Hmm.
I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Holy crap!" Because my eyes were just like, "Burn."
Hello there.
Jesus. All right then. Okay. Go to
I'm
bed.
gonna stop yawning at some point, I promise.
Meh.
Meh.
It's whatever. I think this is gonna be a low key kind of recording tonight. I was feeling sleepy when I got home anyway. Did not have time for a nap, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I should nap. And I'm like, eh.
Because my husband like texted me before I left work and was like, "All this stuff is happening. Can you please take care of dinner?" And I was like, "Sure."
Oh.
Like he was like, "The cat threw up on the bed, and I had to deal with that, and my mom doesn't feel well, and I had to play whack a mole at work." And I was like, "It's okay, honey. I got you." Which is an interesting way to be like, just people kept coming up and trying to get his attention. It's just whack a mole. Like, eh, 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 eh.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Get out our yawns now.
All the yawns.
All the yawns. 4, 5. Deal with this.
Oh, the poppet toy.
Oh yeah, there's like so many. There's so many now. Like we won't even be able to like touch or like get to every single kind of fidget toy there is now. There's so many. Um, we can probably touch on a few of them,
Yeah.
but yeah. And I have all my poppets here on my desk. So
Your
many.
collection so far.
My collection that I will one day put together the whole thing and have it in like a display case. That's the goal anyway. I don't know if I'll do it anytime soon, but that's the goal. All right, still doing good with that. Make sure that is running. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to give it a moment and then I will get us started. Hello and welcome to episode 250 of Geek Grills, the Geek Grills podcast supported primarily by our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/grills. I am Linda and I'm joined by my co-host Ray. There's Ray. Ember unfortunately can't join us this evening. She's having some personal stuff, so we love you, Ember. Um, we've got kind of a light topic tonight. We're going to be talking about the like kind of rise of fidget toys, like fidgety things. So
Nobody ever fidgets. We have no idea what you're talking about now.
no, no, no fidget. Fidget? What fidget? A little bit of an update though, like housekeeping update on our show schedule going forward. So we're gonna now be doing a game night on the third Monday of every month instead of a show. So it'll be, production meeting, show, game night, show, and then if there's a fifth week, we'll do another show. We just think that that'll be like a fun thing. We had a lot of fun playing Monster Road Trip together, so we thought we'd make it like a monthly thing to have a monthly game night. Um, Everyone will be able to join us for the live recording on the third Monday of the month, but the actual recording of it, is probably going to be Patreon only. So if you can't join us for that Monday, then if you're a patron, you'll be able to get the recording of it later once it's published. So that's the current plan. And just we'll have more patron content, and you'll get to see us being nerdy and playing weird games. I have suggested, well, the one we're gonna play next week is we're gonna try and actually win Monster Road Trip. So
One good win.
we're gonna try that again to have one good win. But I have suggested some other games like Phasmophobia. I suggested Human Fall Flat because that game absolutely makes me enraged. Um, so we'll see where that goes. Um, but that is the current plan. So now that we've done our little bit of updating, before we get into our topic, what have you been up to, Ray?
Yeah. I got to watch Wakanda Forever when it came out on Thursday, so that was awesome. I'm not gonna go too much into it, like no spoilers, but I did enjoy it very much. I loved Black Panther. There was a lot of things that I knew, like just watching the preview for it. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna have Namor, and but there's still some like nice surprises I didn't know about. And I did get very excited when they introduced some of the other characters and anticipation of having like their own spin-offs because it is Marvel. I will say on that note, this is a Marvel movie, so there's a mid-credit scene. There is not a post-credit scene, and the mid-credit scene is relevant to the movie you just saw. It is not a preview or a teaser for a future Marvel thing. It is literally like a mini epilogue. Um, I will say the movie does a fantastic like bookending, and of course visually it is just incredible, and musically it's wonderful, and the costumings are point, and Angela Bassett is queen forever. Oh my gosh, like everybody does a great job. She does like an exceptionally amazing job, which I wasn't prepared for. Like I was prepared for everyone to bring their A game. I wasn't prepared for people to blow me out of the water with what they were doing. So it does revolve around grief. It is a very strong theme throughout the movie. So you might not be in the mindset for this movie, or you might find this movie very cathartic, depending on how you approach those things. So um, I will put that out there, but it is, I, I think it does an excellent job with how it shows grief and people going through the grieving process, and just an absolutely beautiful uh, tribute to. I'm so sorry, my mind just bleh. Boseman,
Bozeman.
Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman. I want to make
Yeah.
sure I get it right. Okay, yeah. I was doubting myself. I'm like, am I gonna mess it up? I don't want to mess it up. But beautiful, absolutely beautiful to him and to the character T'Challa. That's not a none of that's a spoiler. That was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So,
Is
but
it,
yes, I highly encourage people to see it. It is great.
is it Haunting of Hill House levels of dealing with grief?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's an entire show about dealing with grief.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it. I don't think I really have anything good to compare it to. Oh, shoot, what was that? What was that Wolverine Western movie?
Old he one where he's an older guy, the one where he's
Yeah,
old. I forget what it's called, but I think
it's
I know
probably
the one you're
something. I
talking
think
about.
it's just Logan. That's right.
Yeah, it's called Logan.
So, okay, I saw Logan like several months after my grandfather passed, and my grandfather was like notorious for loving Western films. Like, so like for me, the passing of Professor X was very kind of cathartic, but also memorable in a way for me, and just kind of like a little pressure valve for like crying.
Ah, Okay, got it.
So, yeah. So like I said, and it depends. Like if that's something that happens to you, there you go. If not, then don't worry about it. I did have a weepy moment, but that's usually a good thing. If I go to a movie and I don't feel feelings, I get kind of annoyed that why didn't I feel anything?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it was really good. I was actually surprised our theater wasn't sold out, but we're still like kind of a lot of people are still kind of easing back into the social life. So that makes sense. It was
Yeah.
just weird because when Black Panther came out, our theater was totally full. Like, so.
I remember. It was.
uh, and then, yeah, and then I went to a one day LARP event, Echoes LARP, on Saturday. Um, yeah, I'm I had a good time. I'm annoyed I had a good time. I wasn't expecting to have such a good time. I was expecting to have an okay time. To have a, I'm gonna go see people I don't get to see anymore, really, or hang out with, and I miss hanging out with these people.
Hmm.
And 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 maybe I'll maybe something will happen. Maybe, but I'm like, I did not optimize my character for in-game fun, I should say. I gave it the stats I gave her the stats I wanted, and I thought if I maybe eventually get to keep playing this character could be fun, but I didn't come in with any combat skills, I didn't come in with any magic, I didn't come in with any weapons or armor. I just came in with like a watch, a compass, a healing dose. I had agile, so I had a dodge so in case anybody threw something at me, charisma and empathy. So I could talk to people real pretty and maybe they would not attack me. And I
Hmm.
had empathy, so maybe if somebody else went down, I could keep them from dying or make them heal a little faster. This is not an optimal build at all for a LARP. Just to be clear. Uh, not all LARPs, but a large majority of Boffer LARPs have a good amount of combat. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
like her skills were literally just mercantile because it was cheap because you always have um at least one if not two skills that are cheap depending on what you're playing. Adventuring because I love adventuring or survival or it's survival in this one. It's an excuse to go outside and find trails and basically wander around site trying to find things. I found a lumber tag. It wasn't an adventuring tag. It was literally a tag that they put on tree to remove. It was fine. Uh, and what was I had mercantile. I had survival and diplomacy because I talk pretty. That was gonna be
Yay.
what I do. I talk pretty. Um, yeah. So expectations were very low. There were so many new people, which was great. Also, female majority. Like literally, I haven't had a game where we outnumber the men. Like maybe once or twice it's happened at one of the others, but like I was just kind of it wasn't even like a few like, oh, we've got like one or two more girls than guys this time. No, it was a lot more than that. It was nice. Um we had a but yeah, we had a large number of newbies. So I actually came in with like I played a ornery, just like a dragon person. Dragon blooded. We'll call him a dragon blooded because it did say exalted was a theme that they were pulling from.
Yeah, fair.
Uh, with my let's grab them because I'm super proud of them and they're very cute. Uh, everybody who's an Omri, you have a monochromatic color, so like you have that one color for like your stuff, but you don't get rainbow scales. So I was like, is our neon an option? Oh yeah, you could do neon. So I have neon pink horns. They're super cute. I also like the neon pink scales, which I was really worried it would just look like I had like rosacea or a rash or something.
Hmm.
But nope, it actually turned out pretty decently. Uh,
Yeah.
but
I
and
I
I
like using stencils. Stencils are fun.
the stencils helped so much. Like literally, I wasn't even planning on going to our local costume shop, Eddie's Trick Shop, but I had stolen Sean for the weekend so we could hang out and go to the game together, and she needed to get some stuff, and I'm like, "Oh!" And they had some.
They do.
I was so happy. I bought the last pack. They have to restock their dragon scale stencils because I was like, I was even talking to the guy. I'm like, "This is the year House of the Dragon came out. Why is there not more dragon stuff this year?" But yeah. Anyway, so I have my ridiculous neon pink. Um, She's also from like the hoity-toity area, so I quickly got the nickname Princess, which is great because she is a naive little princess and is just starting to learn that like her world was not as optimistic or as nice as she thought in her
Oh.
little gilded cage. Which, yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah. Gotta
Um,
burst that bubble real quick.
yep. So that's the good. Like I said, I got to see a whole bunch of people I haven't seen or played with in forever. What I didn't like. So I made a joke when I was looking at the character creation that this seems like um, there's another game that a lot of the same people played or were involved with called Forest of Doors, and I'm like, this seems like Forest of Doors 2.0. Like, I feel like the dragon people are just reskinned goblins, that the celestials are just Star Apsara, just like little reskins. Like the crags is just the Viking world. And I'm like, but you know, these are standard like tropes
Yeah.
kind of thing. So maybe not. Maybe not. Uh, So the first encounter we run into are abyssal spirits, black
And
tabards and claws,
oh no.
and black masks. I'm like, well, those look like nightmare hosts, but okay, which was a big thing that we had at FOD. I'm like, okay, well, it's new LARP, it's starting, limited budget, roll with it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here. So yeah, and that and then like later there's some like wasp attacks from the Leshy slash fairy world. I'm like, okay, that's cute. That's fine. I can handle that. That's and later on, and like I find out that there's you know, everybody is just randomly selected and pulled here to this world, this echo place, so we're not really sure. There's something about a king that was here before, and maybe like it's something about a king, and I'm like, okay, cool, cool. So we're starting to get our own storyline, our own plot. What the hell is going on with this world? And then we are attacked by some intelligent because I've been able to force of charisma anything. Like nothing is talking yet until finally we get something with like intelligence I can talk with, and I'm going to call them beastmen because nobody ever told me what they are, but they are people in bestial tabards um, coming here because they were at war with all any not thems. Which, like later, I find out this is a war that was started because the the sad dead king. We see we're side plot is we're catching memories by doing like different stuff. Like I go on a trail and I find some like memories. So we put these memories, these crystallized memories in a container and we're able to like see the memories and get the visions and start to try and put together a story. And after we got a certain number, we actually got like a letter uh, to this person to that we find out is probably the sad dead king, basically letting him know that his father is dead and that his coronation is soon, and set for that.
Yeah.
And at one point, we get even more crystals in there, and this this person who just had their coronation just appears, but they're locked in their memories, so they see us as just like humans, even though there's like Omri, like and Leshies, and just like bunch of non-humans. But he sees everybody as human, and it's not weird at all because he's locked in the memory, and we're just able to like interact with it and get some information. To which like his dad was killed, and because was killed fighting these beast men, and because of that, he has sent all of his generals and all of his people to go and finish this beastmen menace for like for once and for all, which obviously has not happened since we were getting attacked by beastmen. And this guy is dead because he's the sad dead king. I don't really know much more about that, but I'm like, mm,
you're
just very sussy. And then we
yeah.
had
You're like, I'm sensing some reused assets.
yeah, and then, like we had a spirit come in. Like the spirit of the creek that goes between the two willow trees or something like that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, they're not literally just doing spirits the same way they did spirits in VOD, where it's like the longer your name, the less powerful you were. And it's like, no, he comes in, he's asking for some Joss, he's asking for someone to be a scion, and like we all just woke him up and he can't give us any kind of time frame because spirits don't understand time. And I'm just like, squint.
Squint.
That all said, I did have a good time.
That's
I
fair.
I thought I thought it would be a bit more original. I didn't know it was gonna literally be FOD 2.0. So but and now I'm actually really conflicted because I had such a good time and I'm like, I can't do 3 games. I
Yeah.
just can't. And dang it, why'd I have to have such a good time? Why'd you have to make it so much fun? Even with my poorly made character. Like there was stuff to do like for people who weren't combatty, which is always great because sometimes games get a little too wrapped up in the combat and like, oh well, we have to have just enough story to get to the next field battle. I'm like, no, no, we can do other stuff. It doesn't
Hmm.
always need to be a field battle. Doesn't always need to be fighting McFighterson. So that was lots of fun. And then the potluck, and then again, like honestly, the biggest like highlight and the main draw was like getting to see all my awesome people I don't get to see anymore, and new people. There were lots of new people too. Yeah. So I'll shut up about it now.
That's okay.
It was just like my big thing that literally just happened.
Hmm.
So what have you been up to, Linda?
I went to ATE, the Weird Western LARP, and I retired my fighty character. It was a lot of fun. We got to like finish up one of the big story plot arcs. Um, Fixed the mutation Yeti mutation problem. We fixed it, and now I
Yeah.
I am escorting the new the newly reawakened lady that she couldn't remember her name, unfortunately, when she came out of being really angry all the time. Uh, we had to have a little bit of a counseling therapy right there on the battlefield. um, but we like I got to like be like, well, why don't we call you Hope? Because like she's gonna go and like fix all the rest of them, and so she's like the hope for getting them all fixed. So that was pretty cool. I got to like lead her off on Sunday morning um, to go off on our adventure. Um, it was a lot of fun. I because it was the game I was retiring. I kind of and it so like the first big like field battle on Saturday morning. You
Mhm.
know, at Possum Trot, there's that space in front of where Monster Town is. That kind of like there's the path of gravel, and then there's a tiny little hill right there. I followed a monster up the little hill and swung at it and immediately rolled my ankle.
Ugh.
So it wasn't it wasn't bad. I
Mhm.
have metal in my ankles already, so it didn't roll that much.
There's not much to roll,
It's
but
it's reinforced. Um but it did, I was like, "Oh god." I had to like sit down and I was like, "Ah, hold. I need a second." They got me off the battlefield, but I rested it a lot for like the rest of the game.
Mhm.
So on Sunday morning, which was the big field battle that was like my retirement, I was able to, you know, do stuff. But I was, because it was my retirement game, I'm like, I'm trying to like fight and swing and do all the fighty stuff. And I like Monday or Tuesday when I got back, like there was a knot, just a knot in my shoulder, like
Mm.
underneath my shoulder blade, and like Matthew had to like press on it to get it to go away, and then like during the party that we went to, the little birthday get together for a friend that we went to during the weekend, it came back, and so I had to get him to like press
Oh.
on it again, and I'm just like, ugh. This is why I'm not playing a fighty character anymore.
Yep.
So she had a good send off, a good ending, and now I get to come in with my corset wearing, no weapon toting aromatherapist.
It was fun. We're coming together. I'm super excited about
Yeah.
that.
That's gonna be like, it's like, oh, here's your vitality back. She waves like a vial under your nose, and now I'm gonna run away from combat.
Okay.
That's the
I'm gonna use my carving knife to go kill whatever's in front of us.
yeah.
My Ion Chef. I'm so excited.
um, but other than that, I've been working on some commissions. I'm almost done with the rainbow duster.
Mhm.
This is the bottom of it, and that's the top. On color 5 of 7, so that's good. Um, and then I have a commission for Ember. She commissioned something for me for a gift for a friend, so I don't want to say what it is in case that friend listens.
Problem.
um, and then somebody at work commissioned a little like Stitch doll, like from Lilo and Stitch. That somebody posted. There's a pattern or a book or something that you can get at Hobby Lobby, and because I would rather stab myself than buy something from Hobby Lobby, I'm gonna try and find
Find it
another
online.
a similar pattern that I don't have to buy from there. But those are like commissions and such I'm working on. But I did get to go book shopping, which is not something I've done for a bit. Uh, these are both books for my next ATE character because she was on my brain. Um, First one is a little. It was like a $10 book on essential oils and aromatherapy, um,
Nice.
which is good. I appreciate it because nowhere in here does it say you should eat any of these. So I think it's actually from a legit source. And then they actually have like, quote unquote potions that you can make in the back of it. There's love potions, there's
Who's the
relaxation
author?
potions. This is
Okay.
Marlene Houghton, PhD.
I was gonna say from my witchy days, Scott Cunningham
Mm.
has some very good books on like kitchen witchery and or like a specific book just for like aromatherapy stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely. That sounds like fun. Like I identify as a kitchen or hearth witch, so um, that is something that I can get behind. Yeah, like a lot of this is just like here's how to use these scents to like relax your muscles. Here's how to use these scents to make a massage oil, that kind of thing.
Cool.
And then the other one is this really beautiful florography book, which is
Ooh.
uh, the Victorian language of the flowers. It's just so beautiful. Each one is like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they each one has its own illustration, and then in the back they have bouquets that you can make. And my favorite
The
one,
FU bouquet.
yes, there is. There is. Well, it's Victorian, so they don't say it right out, but it's a bouquet for bitter ends. So the how do I say f you and flower? I can tell you. Um, but then they have bouquet for sympathy, bouquet for marriage, for courting, all that kind of stuff. Um, and a bouquet for new beginnings. It's very
Aw.
beautiful. So I just really love it, and I'm looking forward to having both of these on my little shelf that I'm gonna bring with me as this character, because of course she's gonna have that.
Super towny.
Super towny nightingale. So
Excellent.
I'm gonna make everything pretty and make everyone feel good. So, yeah, that's basically it. We can now get into our topic, I guess. So basically, we just kind of wanted to like go into just the fidget toy kind of phenomenon, because it's definitely something that is has grown in popularity, especially the past few years. Um, and kind of into the zeitgeist, I guess, if you want to call it, of like everyone's knowledge. I mean,
Yeah, because uh, I was just gonna say the first time I heard of anything even remotely like this was like stress balls
yeah.
in the 80s. Like your office would give you a stress ball. And you'd be like,
And now you can buy fidget toy advent calendars. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So basically, the like concept of a fidget toy. Hold on, I have things in order so I can remember what I wanted to say. The concept of a fidget toy, very simply, is a small object used for like you know purposeless kind of manipulation with your hands, usually your hands. So it's called fidgeting or stimming. Um, it's used for like decreasing anxiety, frustration, agitation, boredom, what have you. So stimming, if you don't know what that is, give me a second. There we go. Stimming is basically a kind of self-stimulating behavior, and it's something that's like a repetition of physical movements. It could be sounds or words, moving objects. Like, say for example, I have fidget toys. Um, these are poppets. This is one of the things you can get, and it's just got a little. Hold it for the
Nub.
camera. It's just got like a little nub on it that you can pop in and out, and so you can just sit there and pop this in and out just the whole time. And there are some fidget toys that are quiet. There's some that make a lot of noise. I was joking, I think, to Ray a while ago that I didn't think I would like poppets. I started collecting these. These are part of like there's a thing. I think I've mentioned it in an earlier episode of they're
uh,
basically blind
yeah.
boxes. And I didn't think I would actually like the poppets. I was collecting them because I thought they were cool looking, and they have cards that go with them, and there's like a giant map that you can put together. And then I was like, oh no, I actually like doing the poppet thing. And I realized I have a fidget toy. It's my crochet hook.
It is.
If I am sitting, I can pull out my crochet, and this is basically, it's not, it wouldn't be considered stimming necessarily because it's not purposeless, I guess. Um, but it is like a textural, motion that I am doing. especially if it's
Yeah.
like a pattern I don't have to think about, then I'm just going along doing whatever. Um, but I actually do. I like the since I like the popping pop it thing. um, and I also it's it's a thing that you don't necessarily think about, but when I stand and talk to someone, I usually have my hands clasped. So this is like this would be kind of considered stimming because it's a self-soothing gesture because it's much less anxiety inducing than it used to be. But I was very shy as a child. I did not like talking to people. See, I mean, even I'm doing it now where I'm just like, doing motions with my hands. Otherwise I'd, if I have my crochet hook and my yarn, I'm holding on to that and I've got something in my hands. And that's just, which also stimming is a short for like stimulation obviously, but
Yeah.
just putting that out there. So, it's found in all sorts of people. It's people that are on the spectrum, people that have ADHD, people that are anxious, that are shy. They will do it. So it's
Yep.
that's basically what the fidget toys were kind of made um, for that audience. And because there's a lot more awareness now about mental health, there's no kind of stigma that goes with it. It's just like there's fidget toys for kids, there's fidget toys for adults,
Hmm.
um, and if you
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're all
I
over the place.
like I'm not sure how well it goes over in school now, but like I used to I didn't have any of this, but I had just like a pen and I would just clicky 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 clicky
Yeah,
until like somebody would take away my pen or like there were other more obnoxious ways basically I would try to do that and it's good. Like it's good to have a like a safer, like quiet kind of quieter way just to help you focus or like I don't know. I have really bad allergies year round. So I feel very lightheaded and not in my body for a lack of a better term. So just doing something like I'm playing with some beads right now. Uh even just doing something like that, it just
mhm.
helps me like I'm here and pay attention.
Yeah, and I think probably probably the act of like stimming to pay attention to focus is much older than than the fidget toy kind of craze because people have been people since people have been people. I think I've said that before. um so I mean there's they talk on some of these articles about like old ways of stimming worry beads or
Mhm.
rosaries. I mean, I know rosaries for a fact were probably because you're supposed to use
Yeah.
that to say your prayers.
Yep.
You
You-
you go along and each type of bead is a prayer or a different type of prayer, and that what else could that be but an ancient form of stimming to keep yourself cognizant and focused about what you're doing.
yep.
Um, let's see. And there's like, the older style was stress balls. We had back in the oldie 90s, um
Yeah.
you could get a bag of little stones that had smiley faces on them and they were called worry rocks, and you would rub on them and then eventually the smiley face would rub off, but they were supposed to because you were supposed to rub your worries away. I could have. It would have been better if it was a frowny face, I guess, but maybe it's just
Yeah.
a smiley face just to make you smile, to make you feel better. But
Worry stone.
yeah, they were called worry rocks. Um,
Huh. I must have missed that one. See.
and then
Oh yeah, the fidget cube. I remember uh I think we have one around here. Scott has one that he backed. It was basically just kind of it would make clicky noises, or
mhm,
you had like a button that you could flip. It was
yeah.
basically all of it was like little clicky noises, which I liked, but I also never took to work because I know my coworkers would want to hurt me.
Yeah, there's that, and then I think another one is called an infinity cube. It's basically one that it folds and unfolds, and it becomes a cube and flatten and a cube and flatten. Like you can fold it infinitely into a cube shape.
Yeah, I have one at work that they gave us years ago, which is kind of like it's like a bunch of macaroni noodle shaped plastic beads on like a string, and you could just put it into shapes and untwine it and make it into other ones, and
Mhm.
that one is definitely the one I use at work because it's also pretty quiet. It's about as quiet as me doing that. So
Yeah.
I just rub the beads together. I don't think anybody heard.
Well, like I actually put a link to fidget spinners because I think those were kind of like the start, like 2017 ish was when they kind of came into their own, and then that was the big like for a while if somebody said fidget toy, a fidget spinner is what you would think of because
Yeah,
they were the
I
big
remember.
thing.
I remember they were also popular in school, and I think like some of the schools were like no fidget spinners.
Yeah,
So
they would confiscate fidget spinners, which I always thought was so stupid.
it's like okay, but like kids, we're gonna find something to occupy our hands with.
Yeah, but and now it's like some schools are cool with you like bringing in as long as it's like a quiet toy. Like they're even okay with they're like they're poppets, but it's like a mat. It's a mat of poppets where you can just press on it and then flip it
Okay.
over and press it back and it's all on your desk and flat. It's very interesting. Um and there are so many like fidget toys nowadays. Like the ones we've mentioned, there's I forget what they're called, but they're like tubes that are ridged and you can open them up and they make terrible noises and then you put them
Oh
back
yeah.
together. You're like-
I was like, I also remember like on the thing of poppets, like whenever we got a package or something, it had the little pop, uh, little air
oh
pockets to
yeah,
protect it. Like it's like the earliest poppet I can think of. You just pop, 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 pop.
bubble wrap. There we go. I was
Bubble
like,
wrap. There we
what is
go.
the name of it?
What's the name of this thing that I used to use in my job every day for 4 years? I worked in shipping. I don't know. Air
Yeah.
pockets.
And
Doy.
there's these little things called mochis.
Hmm.
They're like squishies, which squishies are another thing. It's a squishy where you squish it down and then it slowly reforms itself. That's
Cool.
a very big thing. But the mochis are like they have the texture of mochi, which is very
There's
squishy, but they're not edible.
gummy,
Yeah,
stretchy.
gummy, stretchy, but they're not edible. You just mash on them, and then they come back, pop out, and come back for more. And I guess that's just like some of them are like sticky, but the good ones aren't. But
Yeah,
they're called
like
mochis.
I don't think I'd like sticky ones.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I mean, that's the thing. With so many like fidget toys and fidget toys being a huge market now,
Hmm.
the quality is all over the map.
Oh yeah, like the fidget cube Scott backed was not an official fidget cube, so I mean I liked it. I thought it was fine, but I think like the official ones were significantly more.
hmm Now I want to think of more things that like There's gotta
I mean,
be
there
there's
was
gotta be more.
office toys.
Well, yeah, but there's gotta be more ancient ones, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
fidget toys before they were called
Tops.
fidget toys. Yeah, tops. Remember those? Uh, it's like cup and ball games.
Oh, yeah.
That's technically a fidget toy because you're just doing a repetitive motion over and over again.
Um, the only other one I could think of is what I keep doing with the beads.
Mhm.
It's just like making a cat's cradle
Yeah, beads.
kind of thing.
Oh,
But you would do it with like string and you or yarn and you could do more patterns and
I mean, I guess most anything could be used as a stemming thing. Like, I bet you could take those old like rabbit's foot
Mhm.
charms that you
Oh
had.
yeah.
You just like rub on that.
Those
Um,
keychains were real popular in the 80s in
yeah,
elementary school. I remember
I
those.
I had a rabbit's foot for a while, but like I had to take it off my keychain because I I didn't think it was real, but
Yeah.
every time I would press it, it felt like there were bones in there.
Yeah, and the little claws.
Little claws,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't. I
I
thought
didn't
you
want
were
a
fake.
I didn't want a real rabbit's foot. I wanted just like a soft little lucky thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I understand. I had the same response.
yeah. It's just like eventually I had to be like, every time I touch it, I would be like, I just no, can't. Um. Oh, that's interesting. ASMR is also put into the stimming category, which
Yeah,
makes sense. It's a
auditory.
auditory sensory thing. Which, if you want to hear our podcast about that, we did ASMR way back in the day. I think Jen, were you with us or was Jen
No,
still with
that
us?
was the Gen one.
That's a Jen one. That was a couple of years ago now. We did one on ASMR. Um, I just think it's very interesting that it's kind of become like, again, it's part of the culture now. It's like what, 10-ish years ago people would have thought you kind of weird, and now they're just, fidget toys are just kind of part of the culture.
It's a little thing, yeah. I mean,
And I do attribute that to more information on mental health.
yeah, just like more awareness and like everybody has everybody has trauma. Everybody has a situation that they've had to go through and, everybody's had some kind of experience directly or indirectly with like a mental health situation. So it seems very weird and counterproductive to try and like have any kind of like shunning situation with that. Like, no,
Yeah, don't do that.
no, just like listen, help them. Sometimes it's all you need is just somebody else to listen and be like, I understand, even if you can't help. Like if you don't have to have all the answers. Just, a kind ear.
Yeah, and maybe a pop it,
Maybe a
just
poppet
be
or a
like,
hug or,
or a hug. Yeah, it's like,
whatever.
I'm just, it is like that, and the culture behind fidget toys right now is fascinating because they are, I okay, self, I don't do TikTok or Twitter, but fidget toys
Oh,
just as a whole are huge on TikTok. Like, they're a huge part of like the culture, like unboxing them, messing with them, making your own. Um, it's a big thing. And I know this because there are creators that I watch on YouTube who also do TikTok. Um, that is how I know. Even though I am myself not a TikTok person. You can get off my lawn. Um, now, if you,
it's fine. It's more cat videos for the rest of us.
yeah, no, if you want to do TikTok, have at. You may have all of it. I just don't have enough mental juice to also do TikTok.
No, I understand. I have a carefully curated list of TikToks I'm sent by my husband, and, which is like 90% cute animals and
Mhm.
10% like dark weird humor. So,
Oh, this is a really random aside, but it's because sorry, red bouncy ball of logic, everyone. Um, so Sailor J's like audio is being used on TikTok like
uh-huh.
for a while. She's reposted her videos,
Oh, awesome.
so they're back on YouTube now.
Hey, um
Anyway, that was a random aside.
no, no. So as you were talking about like older ones, I just found a link to the boating balls, which are the little metal balls that you roll in your hand that make little
Oh
clingy noises.
yeah, I forgot that's what they were called, but yeah, the ones where you're
I,
supposed to like
yeah,
doing
it
this
just kind
motion.
of juggle it.
It
Yeah,
was I first saw them back in God, I think it was the 90s because I think my grandparents had a set and they were like it's for massage. It's to massage your hands.
yeah. It could be used to
Yeah.
improve your finger dexterity, relax the hand, recovery of muscle strength and motor skills, especially after surgery. It's also like they were really common in new age stores as well,
Mhm.
an alternative medicine because it's like ooh clingy and meditative, but give your hand something to do while you try and empty your mind.
Yeah, to stim.
Yes.
Just stim for a while and don't think about anything.
And those apparently came about in the Ming Dynasty, so I
Yeah.
think that's the oldest thing we've thought of so
Like I,
far.
like I said, people have been people since people have been people or something like that. Ah, why is the player being stupid? Sorry, I had to all right, are we good now? Good. Okay. Twitch. Dang it, Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
It told me that before too, but then I just refreshed and it was fine again. Like now. Ta da!
Ta-da. Yeah. So,
So hopefully everything's recording safe.
yeah, I mean, I have the backup recording going, so we're good.
Okay,
Um,
excellent.
excellent. So yeah, I find the kind of rise of them to be fascinating. They've always existed, probably, just not in the mass marketed form that they are now. And I guess make of that what you will. So remember, you can chime in if you have your thoughts and opinions on fidget toys. If there's ones that you prefer, if you think they're silly or what have you. You can chime in by emailing us at geekgirls@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at geekgirls. So, what are you most anticipating coming up, Ray?
Spend time with my husband. He has been away in New Orleans for a fancy LARP called Saturnalia,
Oh,
which you can hear about on the Polyhedron podcast. Because literally, he was in the other room doing his recording
yeah.
today too.
I was about to say I could hear Matthew. So.
But I'm just really excited. Like I purposely made sure to plan lots of stuff over the weekend that would keep me busy. So, but it was still like I want my hugs. Like these cuddles are good, but they're not the cuddles I'm used to. So, what about you, Linda?
Oh, I'm gonna attempt to finish up most of the commissions. Like I said, I've got about three. Um, I don't know if I'll actually be able to finish them all up in 1 week, but but once I do get them finished, I'm gonna do some more sewing, because I have two costume like one costume piece and one whole costume are kind of due, quote unquote, due in January. That's
Yeah, I need to get started
when I
on
need them
those.
by. So I am in the process of working on the mock up of the Paleto coat. Um, it's I have to resign myself to it being a mishmash because that's what fabric I have. So I was attempting to make it a Christmassy mishmash, so we'll see how that goes.
All
um,
right.
and then the other one is I actually got a pattern. The Simplicity patterns were on sale for $2 at
Oh,
Joann's, and they're usually like 20.
yeah.
So I picked it up. I'm basically gonna make this. It If you're listening, it's the Simplicity 8444 pattern. Um, this little kind of Lolita Rococo looking dress for
So
my
flipping cute.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
it's like a little apron dress with like a really full skirt and
Mhm.
oh my
And it's
gosh.
the sleeves on the shirt are what I'm really excited about because they're super floofy and
Hmm.
like puffy and long. But that is going to be for my clockworking, which is the
Awesome.
rococo punk kind of thing. So I thought that would be pretty good. I can wear nice thick like stockings, so my legs won't be cold because it's for January.
Yeah, it's a 3-day event, which did not comprehend in my head when I was initially making this. I was just thinking it's a 1 day. And I'm like, oh no, this is 3 days. It says,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
Yeah, so this is gonna be something made out of a nice thick material, I think. Um, but I'm trying to decide on the fabric choice for it because I kind of want to do a um like red and white theme because she's got a lot of healing. She's a doctor, so
Hmm.
because of like the social structure of what it is, and the clockwork are basically dolls. They're considered like wind. They've got keys. They're wind up dolls. Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to do like red crosses on the arms and like on the skirt, so that she's this little like medic doll that like I don't know. I have to think about it.
Okay, okay. I swear I've seen something that you're talking about on Friend Plus Fan, which is a Goth Lolita site that is wonderful and beautiful, but size is really small. But the visual of what you're describing, I
Yeah.
know I've seen there. So,
So I have to decide how I want to do that and make that, and that is things that's after commissions. So,
yes.
but I'm very excited because this should be pretty simple
It's
question
simplicity, right? They're
simple question
simple.
mark.
Uh,
I'm a little concerned about the thickness of the pattern here because usually when the patterns are thick, it's a lot of pieces to cut out, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And I'm just gonna put this over here now. Whoop, fell on the floor. All right, I'll get that later. Um,
future problem.
future Linda's problem. Yay! But the code at least, the code at least is like, I don't know, 5 pieces.
Okay.
So it's like the back, two sides of a front, and two sleeves. So
Doesn't too bad.
yeah, I do have to do a top and a lining, but that's besides the point. um, After making that whale shark dress is easy breezy.
Everything's simple in comparison now.
Yes, really is. Uh, so remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. The next one will be on the 21st. That is going to be our game night. So you're able to, join us live. Anybody can join us live, but probably only the patrons will get the recorded. Maybe edited, maybe not.
So more monster road trip.
More Monster Road Trip in which we are going to try to succeed instead of being lost in the desert forever. It's okay. We have our secret weapon, which is
A
Ray.
spreadsheet.
Ray, who knows how to play the game now.
Thanks to somebody else who went ahead and made the spreadsheet like before I could even play it. Like they must have done it on like day one.
Shh, shush. This is all your
Oh, yes.
expertise.
No, no, this is all in my brain,
Your
like spreadsheets. It's I have just a running Excel up there. No, okay, yes. So, in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. You can check out what topics we're going to be doing in the next month on our schedule below on our Twitch page and what games we'll be playing, because that is where we will post what games we're playing. And if you're a patron, you can always suggest a topic for us. We will do it. So give us suggestions. We'd love to hear your ideas. Where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram under Dapple Dame. You can find Ember on 9of12.com.
And you can find me on Instagram under the name madcap_misc. That's MISC. And you can check out my website at madcapm.com. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
GG!
GG. Alrighty.